Hello, everybody. Let me get that overlay off. Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday, May 17th, and it is time for more Boho Bangles, and I'm going to turn it into a necklace. So I was just getting a few things together, and I looked at the clock and I went, oh, I better start. So here I am, and I've got some new stuff to show you, a new clasp that you're going to love. We've got it all. So it's going to be a super fun time today, I think. I hope you'll love it. So let me start off by just saying hello to everyone who's jumping on. It looks like there's some new folks here who are watching for the first time. So don't forget, folks, that you can find us on all of our social media. Give us a follow over on Instagram. And if you make anything with our Beadshop products or our Beadshop projects, please do give us a tag so we can add you to our Instagram stories. We love to do that. We love to see what you're making and what you're doing. Also, don't forget to join our Facebook group, The Bead Table. Over 7,000 beaders over there sharing the love and sharing the knowledge and sharing their projects and their take on bead shop projects, which is awesome. And then, of course, you can hit that like, subscribe, and notification button right over on YouTube so that you never miss one of our broadcasts. It's also a great place to watch our replays. So a big hi and hello to those of you who are watching us on replay. Okay, well, that is that. So let's see. Gosh, so many people are here. So many people are jumping on. Let me tell you. So I've got some new, I'm going to add this here. We've got some new products in today, like I was telling you. We have some new mixes that I love, and I hope you folks will love them as well. You loved our Czech mixes that we did with our other boho bangles. And this one, let me see if I can get it. Whoops, sorry. Let me just move this stack of beads here. I made some new ones. I couldn't remake the old ones because that's just how it is, right? So I decided to make some fresh ones, and I'll show you these up close. We've also got some new leather that we debuted that I am super excited about as well. So we've got those. I'm going to share that with you. And then last but not least, we have found, you folks love the barrel clasp, this one that we've had on our other boho bangles. And they're coming back in. Our vendors like, what did you do? So we got them back in. They sold out real fast, and we're getting them back in. We've got a huge order. So I promise you, when they'll be back in stock. So jump in, put yourself on the notification list so you can get an email when these barrel clasps come back in. But we have some fresh ones, some new ones today. It's these that are a little bit longer that I thought these would work with the bangles as well. But I think this is going to look really great with our necklace. So let me just solo this. There we go. I also wanted to mention, kids, let me tell you before we get started here, jumping into the project, the mixes themselves, they are not ready. I mean, they're ready, but they're not up on the website yet. So they're going to launch right after this broadcast. So I'm going to try and end the broadcast a little bit early because they're going to go, they're going to drop at noon. So I want to give you a little time to look at the leather, put things in your cart, and then at noon, refresh the page. And if you go right to our Just In on our homepage, or our new arrivals section. Both of those are great places to find the new product when it goes live. You can put them in your cart and then check out because I did plenty. I have a lot. So if you want one and you're watching, you shouldn't have any trouble getting them, but they are limited. So you want to do that. And also, folks, don't forget, this whole week we are doing free shipping, free first class shipping on orders of $25 or more. You don't need a code. You just select free shipping at checkout. So it's a great time to combine that code if you have some bead rewards points or things like that that you want to use and get free shipping on your order. It is a great time to do so. Okay, well, I'm awash in leather and beads and everything here, and I'm trying to decide what it is I want to use. So I'm just let me put some things here so we can play around. I hope that you folks loved that boho bangle. I know that so many of you have made it. I've seen it on the social. I think it's a really fun one to do. Essentially, what you need for the bangle, right, is you're going to need this the same leather, for the necklace. It's pretty much the same as the bangle. The Ceylon in either regular, you could use fine if you wanted. Some leather cord. It could be in 2mm. I've got some 1.5 millimeter here if you want it. Here is some more 1.5. The color is fire. That color, I really love that yellow. And you can just kind of play around with the different leather colors that you like to go with it. I'm going to pull out the rest of my leather right here. And let me grab, I've got a whole bunch of Ceylon colors that I think will be fun to work with. You could also use, you know what, maybe I'll use instead of Ceylon, though I have some. Let me grab this just for fun. Bear with me here while I grab some things. So I have also been using a lot of Chinese knotting cord lately. Whoops, I just broke my Chinese knotting cord spool. Let me see if I can get these apart. Hang on, there it is. There's this, what we like to call CKC. This is the 0.5mm Chinese knotting cord that I really like. I also like this kind of this crazy, this is the purple, the midnight grape. This one's real pretty. This is the straw. That goes nicely. And I also have this one. This is the teak. This would work. So you can use the Chinese knotting cord to give it a little more of an, I don't know if it's elevated, kind of, right? A little more of a polished look maybe than the Ceylon, though I don't know. I think it all kind of looks good, so it doesn't really matter. The wire you need, I'm going to tell you to grab some 24 gauge. I've got the non-tarnish antique copper, and I also have the titanium color here. You could also use the vintage bronze. This is 22 gauge. That would work as well. Let me lift this a little bit. Shelley is saying that she used Irish wax linen, which I also like. Do you like this mess I'm making? This one is the dark gray. Let me toss some more colors down on the table. I've got a bunch of Irish wax linen here. Let me grab it. And you don't need a lot, so it's a great way to use up some of your Irish wax linen remnants. Here's a Ceylon. I think this is the gold. That's really pretty. I know I've got some wax linen here somewhere. Somewhere in this group. Let me see. Well, I think I'm going to use CKC, so maybe I won't grab it. This is what happens when I clean my studio. I can't find anything because it's all put away. So I like the looks of this mess, though. Okay? Do you like the look of this mess? Right? I do. So My mom is giving me a lot of hints. This green, the green beads with the red braid, my Christmas necklace. That's really funny. It's never too early to start thinking about your holiday jewelry, right? That's for sure. I've got some other beads here that I may or may not use. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to just leave them over here to the side. Okay. So let's start making sense of this mess on my table, shall we? So I'm going to put all of my Chinese knotting cords over here. All my wire, let's put that over there, kind of off camera. There's some Ceylon, which is right here, which I like. Let's get some leathers. I've got lots of different leather. 2mm, like I said, and the 1.5. I'm going to put that just off. I'm going to take a bracing drink of coffee. Perfect. I think I'm also... Oh, it's coming now. The ideas are coming now. Hang on, everybody. Hold the phone. I've got some... Remember these sliders, these beautiful rings that we have from Nun Design? I love them, love them. I've got this big king-size shadow there too. I don't know how that's going to play, but who knows. Let me get this big ring. And this is how... Sometimes I like doing these shows that are off the cuff. Number one, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I've lost track of the time. I haven't had time to do any prep. And other times I'm like, you know what? I don't need to do any prep. I'm just going to jump in and see what happens, right? So sometimes those off the cuff kind of designs, I think, are sometimes the most effective. And I know that you folks indulge me when I'm playing around like that. This one was also an off-the-cuff design. Remember this? I did this a while back. And I think this would look really good layered with the boho necklace I'm going to make. This has, and I did it on a show when I introduced this cool new stuff that we got. These are those triangle strands that we're getting back in. We still have some, I think. But you could use shadows instead. It would be good. I used a charm here. I used that. I know you all love this Ganesh charm. Coming back. It's a little hard to get, but we've got it on order, so it'll come. This one here, this beautiful walking Buddha. And see how I connected it? I did 2 jump rings here, and it just goes through that one that triangle hishi, and then it all comes to the back and crimps. I didn't even restring these beads. I just strung them, right? Just strung them up and crimped them down flat, and then I used that magnetic clasp. So I'm going to put this back on because this is kind of I'm going to layer. So I think maybe that's my inspiration today. Though, I don't know. Let's take a look at the clasps then and the leather. Oh, I just see my buddy Pam Chavez. Pam is our program coordinator here at our Fresno Fiber Arts Guild. We're going to be having, if you go to the Fresno Fiber Arts Guild website, you'll see we're having our class signups at our Fiber Guild. I just taught a fantastic class yesterday for my quilt guild, day before and yesterday. A handbag class, like a tote bag class that some of you saw on our social. And I'm thinking about doing it as a class here, like a weekend class here through Beadshop. So it would be a class. It would be an actual class that you would pay a class entrance fee and you'd get a materials list. And maybe I would do a kit for it. You know, I don't know. But if you're interested, I mean, and it's a great... blank canvas for beading and stuff. So I don't know if you're thinking about about doing a little sewing or stuff. things like that. It would kind of be fun. So I don't know. Let me know. I think it would be fun to do a little class. But as I was saying, our Fresno Fiber Arts Guild class signups are this weekend. So if you're in Fresno or you want to make a trip to Fresno, check out their class schedule. We meet on the third Saturday of the month, and it's really fantastic. And we've got some amazing classes coming up there, of which I am teaching one in February. So it'll be good times. So let me show you. These are the fresh mixes here. Here's the Mojave Aster. That's just beautiful. I love it. This one is Desert Rose right there. And this one is Cactus Garden. Okay, I'm going to get a little closer in here so you folks can see them. They are mostly the age Czech. Can you see that? But a few of these have some surprises, like some 8/0s, or 6/0s rather, that I threw in. These galvanized blue ones there. This Desert Rose also has a 3mm fire polish, which is also delicious. So this one kind of skews kind of pink and purple a little bit. This one kind of skews a little bit green, like the Cactus Garden. So I still use Tucson as the desert and Tucson as my inspiration. This Mojave Aster, I mean, just look at those just in rich purples. I think they're so fun. And then the clasp, let me zoom out here. The clasp that I just got, it's new. And I really love it. The way it opens is it has that little nub thing here. So when it closes, it's not going to pull apart like that. So it's really, what I want to say, sturdy, I guess. The bead mix size, I think it's 10 grams, Christine, and it has a mixture of beads that goes from 8/0 to 6/0. Some of these like little cut off heavy bugles, they call them, or it's like our wampum beads that we carry, but smaller. And this has the 6/0, some 8/0s, and some of those short wampum beads as well. So it's about 10 grams. So age check, that's a really good question about what does age check mean. So all of these beads here, they're not Japanese seed beads, with the exception of a few of the 6/0s that I put in this mix. They are made in the Czech Republic, and they age them. The coating is aged. So let me hold this up a little bit. So they call it aged because some of them they intentionally, for lack of a better word, antique. So the coating, let me get that back. See how they look kind of antiqued, sort of, but that's what that aged coating does to them. And so these have some of that aged Czech coating. Some of them don't, some of them do. Here, some of them do, and some of them don't. But they call them in the industry aged Czech. Okay, so these are the new leathers that we got, and I wanted to show you these. This is the black. It's a black leather. Okay, and Janice is saying they add the Picasso coating. Thank you, JP. It's the Picasso, really, that's over them. And so this leather, we call it, this is the metallic silver black. We've got the distressed red, and we've got the natural, right? So the silver, depending on the coating, when I got it in, I thought it actually looked a little blue, and it does look a little blue rather than silver. you'll have, what do I want to say? Your leather from what you get may vary just slightly because this is all hand applied. So I think that the amount of distress that they put on this or coating that they put on this may affect the look, but it's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I looked at it all. I love the way it looks. So this is the distress with the silver. Here is the red that we've gotten. And the red, it's more of kind of an orangey red. They call it the distressed red. And yes, it does have like a hematite feel to it. I really love it. This is the distressed red. It's more of, it's a little more orangey than red, to be honest. And when they say distressed, it's not going to look like super uniform like this natural does, right? It's going to have a distressed look to it. Remember how we had the green like this? The green also had that distressed look to it. Okay, so that's what this one looks like. And then this is the natural, which I love. It has a little bit of a coating on it. This probably will darken a bit as you wear it. But it starts out just like our regular natural leather in this nice light color. And as it's worn, it will darken a bit, just like, just like it does when you have your natural leather as a wrap bracelet or whatever. Yeah, this does have a little bit of a rust color to it. And you can see these, the diameters, I'm going to show you. The diameters sometimes in this leather vary a little bit, right? So this one here, the natural, is a little bigger, right? And again, these are all hand done, right? So they're braided and stuff by machine, but there's still a lot of the hand of the maker in this leather cord. So it does vary, right? Because when this leather is stripped out, stuff like that, it just is sometimes a little bit bigger, sometimes a little bit smaller. So the red here, let me measure this one. See, that's a little smaller. It's 4.9, right? Let's take a look at this one here. This is also, let me get it right in there. It's about right on the mark, 5 millimeter. So these will, your experience is going to vary. See that green? This one that I have, it's 4.8, right? So it's just, it is what it is, right? You just kind of play around with it. I love this idea, Curtis. The bangle design would be perfect with a rainbow or pride color bead mix. I agree. I think it would be, I actually have a pride bead mix up my sleeve that maybe I'll put it together for June. I mean, June is Pride Month, though every month is Pride Month for sure. So, but it would look cool, especially with this natural or with the black. Let me see for that. I love, Linda, you are the best. May I just say these videos are scary addictive. You are super kind. That is super kind. Sally is saying she'd be curious to see the desert rose mix with the new red leather. So your wish is my command, or whatever that saying says. So I'm going to use that one today with that. Okay, let's do it. Let me find a leather that works. So this, I could go all kind of metallic. Maybe this one goes here. So let's do that. And let's do with the natural, because it kind of looks like the desert sand. Let's do the cactus there. Okay. So necklace wise, let's do this vibrant. We all need some vibrancy and some happy, right? So I'm going to do it. I'm not going to be afraid. In this mix, I have the straw CKC, or Chinese knotting cord, CKC. I also have, I want to make sure, Janice, will you double check this color? I think it's gold in regular. It's one of my favorites though. And this also tones it down a little, but still brings that yellow. So I like it. Let me change out, I think I'm going to use CKC and Ceylon. That might be a little too, that's not right. A little too not right, I guess. How about this one? Yeah, yep. This is the gray. And this is, that's 0.4. Robin, it's a great question. Will the dye come off? I have not had the dye come off. The dye, for me, in my experience, has been pretty color fast. Okay, and it's because they do seal everything, so it's good. It's the same as any of our other dyed leathers that we carry, so we should be in good shape. Though, look at this one. Look at that. Oh, antique gold. Yeah, that's what it is. JP, antique gold. Look at. It's kind of interesting to see this. This is the, Janice, get me the name of this one too. This one is that pink. I love it, love it, love it. With this color. It's a little, because this has pink in it. So I want to pull the pink in. It also has this, I don't know. Maybe I need that in there. I don't know. Let's just see what happens. I need to build the bridge, the color bridge to this red orange. Maybe it's this. There's also, it's summer here in Fresno. There's a mosquito in here that's making me crazy. Maybe it's that. I don't know. Let me see. Maybe I can bring it in with the leather. Let me look at leather. I have here some, oh, yes. I love it. I love this. This is the natural cyclamen, I think. Let me see if this is right. Or let me see. You know what I always like to kind of rely on? Can you hear me rustling around? Rustle, rustle. That's pretty. I like denim a lot. I know the yellow is good. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that. I don't want to muddy up the waters too much. So maybe I do that with this with this, and I pop that yellow. Cerise, that's it. Thank you, JP. Cerise. So gorgeous. I don't know. It's hard, right? It's hard to guess which one is the best. Let me see. I'm going to audition a couple more leathers. I just do. So bear with me here for just a second while I do that. I know I've got some more sitting here somewhere that I like. Let me grab, this is a good one. Maybe this is it. And let me grab one more. This is the, I just want to check something real quick. Bear with me here. Keep looking at that pretty picture on your screen. There we go. I want to look and see what Yeah, I like this. I think this is what I might go with. This is Distressed Rose. I wanted to make sure it was right. Yeah, I think so. No cerise. Lorraine is saying you do make it happy, which I like. And Mary's saying the bright yellow, natural blue leather, and red braided. Bright yellow, natural blue. See, here's the cerise. And not the cerise, the Distressed Rose. Is that too close? I think it's too close. Maybe I would use this with another colorway. I'm going to set it aside. I think you're right. Denim, this, and this. Okay. Yeah, too close. Okay, too close. All right, denim blue. All right, everybody. I'm going with you. And this is 1 millimeter, I think. Let me check. You could use 1.5, but with the necklace, I might, yeah, it's a little over. So with the necklace, I might want my leather wraps to be a little more delicate. All right, let me clear. And let me start figuring out how I'm going to make this. Okay. So let me put myself back on the screen. With the, let me take this off. With the bangle, okay, if I were making this as the necklace, I don't know if I want this centered. See, like I kind of like how this sits over here at the neck because this is expected, right? Center, expected, right? But what if we moved it to the side, we kept the leather wrap here, and we did something else here, okay? So this section here, whoops, you're not seeing that. Let me go back here. This section here, I think is all one tube of beads. So let me, I want to look for one more color. I'm going to use probably most of that as my first wrap. And I'm going to start with the wrap because I think that's the one that kind of is the most important, if that makes sense. And then, here we go. This is what I want. And then I'm going to reserve a few, maybe for another spot. This is going to look better. I actually think I'm reversing my decision on using a skinny leather. Maybe I'll use them both, but I want the 2 millimeter. Leslie, this is a good question. Whoops, no. Here's the question, sorry. Wouldn't the beaded part move on the neck so it doesn't matter where the beaded part is? I mean, you could put it anywhere on the piece, right? But I'm going to make it hug the neck fairly close. So hopefully it won't twist around, right? Oh, and a big happy birthday to our Kim. Yes. Happy birthday, friend. Happy, happy birthday. So we'll see. Okay. We'll see what it looks like. Okay. I'm just looking really quick at the questions because there was another question I wanted to answer. Okay. I don't see it here. Okay. If I missed your question, ask it again. All right. So clasp-wise, maybe I'll use the brass. I'm probably going to mix the metals anyway. And I want this. I might want that. I'm not sure if I do. I think I want that. And I think I want these. I don't know. Christine, thank you. This is kind of my wheelhouse. Design on the fly is my wheelhouse. I'm afraid that I mean, I don't want you folks to be bored either, you know. So sometimes I have a little bit of anxiety around taking too long to have the design come to me, but I appreciate you all being patient while I let my creative muse take me where it will. Also for the necklace, folks, I'm going to use 22 gauge, though you could use 24 as well. I think that all of these large beads will fit on 22 just fine. And I want to make sure when I wrap this around the leather that it's really going to hold and stay. Okay. So great question about how many yards are you going to need? All right. Well, this is how I'm going to measure. So this comes by the yard. Okay. You guys are so sweet. You folks are so sweet about your kind comments about watching me create. I feel very loved. I feel the love through the screen. So thank you. And it's something I kind of need today. I don't know. Feel a little needy. So thank you. I love it. Not super needy. Anyway, so about here-ish, maybe a little shorter. I'm not sure. I'm not going to cut it though. Okay. So this length is about, tape measure, here it is, right in front of me, is about 20 inches, 19 inches, right? So here. And this, you know, now we sell this. You guys are making me blush. I'm going to take another drink of coffee. My goodness, you folks are sweet. I can't read the comments and create at the same time. I'm just going to, they love me. They really love me. I love you too. Thank you. We sell our, now get back to work, Richburg. We now sell our leather cord by the yard, right? So leather cord by the yard, you could just get a yard, but you know, we used to sell it by the 4-yard bundle. When I order it for myself to work on things, when I order it to work on things for me, I still get it in 4-yard increments, right? So that I have enough to work with. So my guess is you're going to use about a yard, but get a little extra for your collection. Okay. So, oh, kids, you are so kind. I'm doing good. I feel kind of busy and I don't know. I think it's, you know, class letdown, or the come down after a class, right? After you teach and are with kind of in a class situation, it's kind of like after Bead and Button. You know, those folks, those of you who went to Bead and Button, and you have like, you take classes and you like commune with your friends and it's super creative and you're in this room with creative people. And then it's the next day or whatever, you know, or you've come home and it's kind of like the post-show letdown. Did you ever have that? I think maybe that's what I have, right? Is post-class letdown. I think that's it. Because really, we don't have that many opportunities anymore to teach in person. Virtually, yes, that's what I'm doing right now. Hanging out with you folks in the virtual world, which I'm super grateful for. But the big shows like Bead and Button, Bead Fest is still going on, but it's a little cost prohibitive for a lot of teachers, including myself, because it's so expensive now to ship, especially if you're a metalsmith teacher, to ship all of your metalsmith supplies and, you know, to make your classroom into a metalsmithing studio, as well as flights and hotels. You know, instructors pay all of that. You know, the shows don't pay it. So it's nice to be able to kind of teach people, right, at home, right, here through this medium. But when I am lucky enough to teach a class in person, it really just kind of scratches that creative itch that I get. So So yeah, but times are, I sound like a broken record, but times they've changed a bit. So we have to adapt and pivot and stuff. So it's not a bad thing. I mean, I get to hang out with people from all over the world right here, right? We're hanging out with each other, which is awesome. But there's something about an in-person class that's just special, right? I used to say it's like Christmas morning, right? Or Hanukkah morning or whatever, that you get up and you're all full of anticipation about something, and then you go and you have this really good time. So it's kind of cool. So my mom's so funny. This is why I love my mom. Straighten yourself out or I'll come over there. No problem, Ma. No problem. I got it. My mom had a great time too. She made a bag. We prepped this class together. So it was super, super fun. Really fun to do. So, but my mom, I got the sentimental gene for sure. Could it be that you have one pearl broken on your wire? I don't think so. Some of these, it may look, just because the Picasso's a little funny, right? For it, not funny, but the Picasso coating is on there. So on the camera, it may look that way. And some of these are a cut that is kind of sideways. This is such an old-fashioned bead. So see how it's cut kind of like a parallelogram, right? It's hard to see, but let me lift it up here so you can see that the hole is kind of offset. So it looks like that. Okay. So let me measure this length. This is how long my thought process took me to string on this many. So I've got about 8 inches. So let's wrap this, okay, and see what it looks like. Now, again, I said I'm going to need about 20 inches of this cord, but I don't really quite know yet where everything is going to be placed. So I'm actually going to work, this might be zoomed out a bit far. I'm actually going to work on a portion of the thread. I also need to make sure to give you folks some time, a little time to shop before the mixes drop. So I got to pick up my pace here. All right. So I'm going to leave I'm going to put it around my neck and I'm going to do this. I'm going to leave about this much, which is, I don't know, I'm going to say about 6 inches. And then I'm going to start my wrap. Okay. So I'm going to wrap this vintage bronze around a few times. I'm going to tuck this under my board because it's kind of making me crazy. There we go. Wrap. And before, with the bangles, I covered up this wrapping that I'm doing here. I covered it up with silk wrapping. But I think on this, I may cover up some of it and I may leave some of it showing. In the bangle, that's the thing. With the bangle, you didn't have a lot of leeway because it's just bangle sized. Here with the necklace, we've got a lot of room to work, right? Let me get a little closer so you can see that. Let me see. In the regular, there's a good, that new silver. Christine, I agree. In the regular leather, it doesn't come. It doesn't come. Well, look, we'll try and maybe we can get something. Yeah, Janice is saying it's nice. Yeah, we'll see if we can get it. I do like it, right? I do like it. Michelle, you and I have the same moms, right? Go find something to do, right? Yeah, it's so true. She'd give me a big hug, or my grand certainly would give me a big hug and say, "Oh, honey, everything's okay." And then she'd say, "Now back to work." So that's funny. That's funny. I love it. So now here we go. We've got this. And then I'm going to wrap. And if I hadn't so cavalierly discarded my cover for my wire, I could put it back on the wire. Let me take it off of this one and put it on. So it'll kind of hold my beads there so they won't keep going, you know, sliding down, right? And I'm working off the spool because I don't know how much wire I'm going to use, right? And I don't want to waste any wire. So, but see how nice and tight this is now? Now I can just wrap this around like so. And when I make these wraps, I'm going to lift this camera up just a little because I feel like my hands are a little too much in the way. And I keep pushing this down. It's fine if I see some wire, that's no problem, but I don't want big gaps in my wire. But also I don't want this to be too tight because then it'll look funny as it goes around, right? It won't flow around the cord. Then I'm going to hold this up next to my original bangle. Yes, look at that. That's just gorge. Just gorgeous. I love it. So where's the bangle that I made? Here it is. So this is about halfway. Yeah, so I've used about half of the beads. So now I'm going to slide this down a bit because I do need some more wire. I'm going to give myself maybe another foot, and I'm going to cut this. And I'm going to add a few more beads. I want it to be just a little bit longer. Okay, like so. So let me go gather all of these together. There we go. Come back here. Let me put them on. And I'm not putting them on in any order. I'm putting them on as fast as I can. Because A, time crunch. B, they all look good. Any bead looks just as good next to the other bead. A couple of these. These have really nice Picasso finish on them, right? So this one that I'm putting in now, it has kind of a matte gold center. It's hard to show you how really pretty these beads are in person. I'm so glad you like these mixes. If you really are liking these age check mixes, I'll add them periodically. What's fun about it is, like our vendor that we get our age check from, there's a very limited amount of the beads sometimes. So when we get them, we would just get them and then we'd sell out of them and everybody would be super sad. But with the mixes, I can just do kind of a limited edition mix and then we can move on. And I can use some of those that have had, that don't have enough for us to carry as a standalone product, right? So I'll bring them back. If you folks like them, when these sell out, I'll wait a bit and then I'll bring some more. It'd be fun to kind of reflect the colors of the season with the age check. So here's this, okay? And this is 22 gauge that I'm using here. Let me wrap this a couple of times and then I really need to look at it to see if this looks right on my neck. Okay, so let me add myself in. Whoops, there goes my tape measure. Let me put this down for a second. Okay, so on the bracelet I use 24. Janice is correct. But on this I'm using 22 and I think you could use either. Okay, so I like this look. It's not too long. I'll measure it for you. But I think that's right? So let me wrap it here. And I still have some left. Okay, so maybe I used about 2/3-ish. So I've got a third left. So I'm going to put that aside so I don't spill it. Okay, there's a few there. So now let me wrap this here. Wrap. Keep wrapping. That looks pretty even. Of course, a leaf blower just started outside. My least favorite tool in the universe. But I know it's necessary sometimes. But sorry if you hear a leaf blower. So here's this. Okay. I think it would definitely, Liza's asking, would it go with the green or the brown? 100%. Here's the green. Look at how nice the green looks with this. I think that all of this kind of works, right? I also have, do I have any of the brown sitting here? I think I do. The brown would be gorgeous, right? So yeah, I would get yourself a variety of the beads. Since they're all kind of aged, they all kind of have that same feel to them, I think. So I think we'll be good. Let me wrap. What was I going to use? I was going to use this, right? So the Chinese knotting cord, 0.5 millimeter in the straw. Okay. I had this left over from my Pride Poetry bracelet. It was sitting right here, so I might as well use it. So now let me show you what I can do here. So I'm going to wrap towards my beads, right? So I'm going to put the loop here. I have plenty of room to pull it, straighten it out. And I think I'm going to just come in. I'm actually going to start wrapping above my wire wrap. See that? I'll measure the bead wrap. Thanks, Donna, for asking. I'll measure it for you. But I'm going to wrap over. And this time, I'm going to leave just a little, I think. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep wrapping. The muse is telling me to keep wrapping, so I'm going to keep wrapping. I thought I'd want a little bit of metal there, but I don't know if I do. There we go. Oh, and Kate, why didn't someone tell me I was silk wrapping wrong? Oy, oy, oy. Let me try it again. Just take it off. We need to wrap towards the loop, Kate. It's that leaf blower that screwed me up. That's okay. I didn't really love that wrap anyway. So hold it there. I'm going to wrap towards the beads. So here we go. One. And we have a great skill builder on the silk wrap. Let me tuck this cord under my board because it's kind of in my way. Let me redo this. You ever have one of those days where your silk wrap isn't wrapping? Isn't your threads are not doing what you're telling them to do? That's me today. There we go. I am the boss of this thread. All right. Let's bring it around and wrap. There we are. So the skill builder on the silk wrap, as you know, those of you who've been watching a long time or doing bead shop projects a long time, know that this silk wrap is really a bead shop staple. But it kind of covers up the wire a bit, adds a pop of color, which I also like. Here we go. And we're going to send that through the loop and pull the loop tight. We want to make sure that it doesn't go around any of the beads. There we go. Tighten it up. Pull it underneath there and tighten. Now you can see a little bit of the wire here, but I'm all right with that, right? So I could thread burn this off. But I'm not sure. My thread burner isn't right here next to me, so I'm just going to use my cutters. And no glue. It's going to stay because that connection is underneath. Okay, so here's this one. This looks good. Now, let me add another wrap here. And see here with this, what I did was I used the silk wrap as a bridge between my beads and my leather wrap. So I'm going to do that again. And I'm going to use the 2 mil. And I'm going to cut, I don't know, I kind of want to work off the spool, but it's kind of long and it might hinder me. So I'm going to cut about 1 yard. It's going to be too long, but I'd rather have too long than not enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my cord here, right here. And I'm going to get another piece. I can still use this here. I'm going to lay this along. And I'm going to silk wrap both the leather in place. There we go. As well as over the wire. See how that's going to go? So the connection looks seamless. Hopefully I used the rest of what I had that I was wrapping with before. Hopefully I have enough. I think I do. Nice firm wraps. Just like that. Now you folks maybe can hear a plane. The flight path is over our house today, so there's always something going on in our neighborhood. There we go. Go through the loop. Pull it tight over here. And pull that connection underneath. There we go. Good. Pull on both to tighten it up. And I'm going to have a little bit of this wire showing. And it's really okay to have that wire showing. Some of you are liking it. I'm liking it too, so it doesn't really matter. Let me get rid of that. There's also a little bit of leather cord there that I'm going to very carefully cut away. A thread burner would get rid of the rest of those threads, but I'm not going to take the time at this very moment. And clip. Okay, so now, let me push this up just a little bit. Good, I'm glad you couldn't hear. I mean, you know, life happens, so you don't have to worry about it. But I remember when I'd film videos for Beadshop way back in the day, we were right under the small airport flight path. And so we'd have to pause our video production while the planes went over. It was really funny. We had to do that so you wouldn't hear the planes in the finished videos. So see what I'm doing here? I'm wrapping and wrapping. And I probably visually want this wrap and what I did here to be about the same length. That's just what I'm thinking. I don't know. So let me measure this. Donna, I think you asked about that. That's about 2 inches. So let me wrap this about 2 inches too. Okay, 2 inches as well. This is 2 millimeter that I'm using, so it's a little chunkier. I thought I wanted it thinner, but I completely did a 180 on that, and I wanted it thinner. So let's wrap. And get these wraps. You could, if you wanted, put a line of GS Hypo here and wrap over the glue. But to be honest, I want this to be pretty flexible, and I feel like glue on here might somehow make it not as flexible as I'd want it to be. So I'm just going to do this kind of tight. This is just under 2. Let me go maybe 3 more wraps. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let me get a clamp. And clamp that down. Now I'm going to check this again on me just for fun. And I do this a lot when I'm making my pieces, especially the first time, right? Trying to figure out if they all work. The clamp really isn't part of the design, but you can see. So yeah, I like this. See how this is kind of here. Now I have to offset it with something over here, but I think this is working for me. So let me solo this out. I'm going to make it actually like 3 more rounds. So maybe it's just a hair longer. Okay. Let me clamp that back. Let me get I need a longer piece than this. My Chinese knotting cord. Yeah, I like it with the clamp. I should. It's very industrial. But let's go ahead and let me prep this first. There we go. This is the part where you feel like you need one extra hand to get everything where you want it. So this time I'm actually going to wrap down towards the wrap that I made with the leather because I don't want this wrap to be too long and I kind of want to match it to the other wraps. I'm going to move my fingers as soon as I can so you can see this, what's happening underneath. So see here how these two are getting wrapped like this. And I'm just going to keep going. This is a little loose here. So let me see if I can pull this just a little tighter. Yeah. Before it gets really tight and I can't move it. Because that's the goal. You want to lash everything together using this silk wrap and you don't want anything to move. So double check everything before you complete the wrap. So if you need to adjust it, you can while things are a little looser anyway. Now it gets a little funny because you've got to navigate where the leather turns. See right there? So I'm just going to keep wrapping. Keep wrapping. And again, before it's too tight, there we go. See, I pulled that tighter now. So it's not going to go anywhere, or it doesn't look loose. Keep wrapping. And see how I'm kind of wrapping here at an angle. It'll all finish up nicely once I tighten it. And I think I'm ready to tighten it right now. So I'm going to go through here, through that loop. Hold all of this in place and pull my thread so it pulls that loop down and underneath. There we go. There it goes. Good. And pull it together. Okay. I could, yeah, Lynn's asking, would it be easier if I glued this down? I could glue it. I would have to clamp it, really let it dry. So for my demo purpose today, it might not be ideal because I'd get glue all over my hands. But if you do glue it, you could add some glue underneath it, clamp it down, let the glue dry, and then silk wrap over the top. You definitely could, right? And I'm going to come in carefully clipping just the leather and nothing else. Okay, so what I have here, let me get that out of the way, is we've got this so far. Okay. So, and Shelley's saying she did a silk wrap of Irish wax linen over her seal-on silk wrap. So you could definitely re-silk wrap over these too if you feel like they're not as clean as you might want them to look. So yeah, totally, 100%. So let's add some more embellishment. I think I want to add these guys, these little friends. I don't really want them, I don't want them to cover this. I want them to sit here, but they're covering it. Oh, what could I do? Hold the phone. The 1 millimeter, I can silk wrap with that. Just a tiny silk wrap. When you silk wrap with leather, you need to check it to make sure that there's no little microscopic flaws in it so that it'll hold up to the wrapping, which I think this will. But I need a stopper because these things, these little hoops I have, go right over the other silk wrap. Now, it's not always easy to get a silk wrapped bit of leather underneath the coil. So sometimes you have to just manually put that coil over the connection, or you use a little bit of glue in this case. And that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to glue it right there. Okay. I could use a small ring as a stopper too. Good call. Let me see if I need to use it. Here's some GS. Let me put a little bit of GS right there. And let's see if I like the look of it. I honestly, to be honest, I don't know that I do. How am I doing on time? All right, I've got a few minutes. I'm not going to worry about putting this lid back on now. Doesn't really do anything for me. Does it do anything for you? Let me see if this circle of bronze, or if this fits on there, or this is circle of midnight. This is a smaller one. It doesn't quite fit. Let me put the rings on there and see. Let me just put them on. Sometimes you have to take the idea all the way to fruition. I'm going to cut this off so it's not all over the place. And I want to do, maybe I just want to do the brass, 2 brass, 1 copper, and 1 more brass. Oh, see, look at, that's fine. See how it comes over and it sits over the leather underneath. The leather kind of acts as the stopper. So fine, good job, leather. I'm with you. Okay, great. I've got this little charm, this tiny little charm. Let me see if I can add it. Again, I don't know if I love it. I need a 6 millimeter ring, a pretty big ring for it. And then it makes sense that there's 1 copper ring in there, right? It doesn't look like, oh, Kate just didn't use the right ring color. So if you're gonna, sometimes you have to plot it strategically. So let me see how that looks. Here. See if I can get this ring closed. There we go. Yeah, I like it. Let me speed this show up. These, These, what was the question? What are the rings? These are our Nun Design rings. I love them. They're under our components page, which I like a lot. I like those quite a bit. I'm going to do another wrap here. I'm going to add a little more metal. These are regular size shadows. I had some little shadows, but I think I want the regular sized ones. And I didn't do too many. Just a few. Mostly because I only had this many sitting here. I might do a few more, but maybe not. So again, I'm mixing the metal and I'm showing a little bit of that wire. Let me clip it. Let me wrap that down. Wrap that down. Yeah, it's shaping up. I'm going to do another short beaded here, especially since my hair is short, right? So the back of this necklace will show as much as the front. If you have long hair, putting some of this stuff in the back might not work out as well for you. I don't think it'll be too catchy, to catch on your hair, but it might. So this might, if you put this in the back, it might be a hair up piece. The bead mixes, Sandy, good question. The bead mixes are going to be available on the website in about 10 minutes. You're going to hit refresh and they're going to be in our just in section. I made plenty of them. There's lots. So they're not going to sell out immediately like Tahitian Pearls, I'm Looking at You, which will be back, by the way, the 1st of June. I've got my hands on some, and I've got my hands on more than I had last time. Not that much more, but more. They'll sell out quick, but it'll be in the newsletter, but it'll be the first week of June that will bring those back. So Tahitian Pearls, that might be it, though, for a while for those. But we got them. My Apple Watch just told me to stand. I've been standing, Apple Watch. Maybe I just need to walk around. Okay, let me wrap this and see what it looks like. Okay, slide these suckers down. The leather and the clasps are already on our website. It's these 3 mixes, the Desert Rose, the Cactus Garden, and the Mojave Aster that are launching at noon. And they're limited. There we go. Yeah, I think that's good. I'm going to add just a few more. It's a little short, so bear with me. The rings are called, Janice, maybe you can find the ring. It's the, and this will be, Drea will make a list of everything post my creation here. It'll be up, but Janice we can find it. We can link it. There we go. Let me keep wrapping here. There we go. And that's about as much wire as I have. So I'm just going to wrap it around. I'm going to show you how this clasp works too. I'm going to measure this real quick. Then I'll sign off so you folks can get to the mixes. But here, it's the mini hoop is what it's called. Thanks, JP. It's the Nun Design mini hoop. And we have them in the different flavors, the different colors. I love them. This is a staple that I always have. They go quick. They go in and out of stock pretty frequently, but we always carry them. We always keep them. So let me get rid of this piece of leather here. So these rings kind of move around. Let me arrange this so you can see it. There we go. Can you see that now? Let me put myself on the screen and let me measure. I remember I have to go opposite way here. So this is good. I don't know if I love, the charm is kind of, I'm going to take this charm off. I like the idea of a charm, or maybe it's not the right one. I don't know. It's not this one. It's too small, I think. It's not quite right. Come on, come off of there. The charm says, no, I want to be on this necklace. There we go. That's better. I think I also need, so if this is sitting here like this, right? Here are these rings right there. Okay, like that. Here's my other wrap. That little bit of shadows. My other right here. I might make this a little closer here. I'm not sure, but I can cut this and show you the clasp real quick. I'm going to cut this here so you can see this. So this is going to end about right here. So I cut it with my wire cutters, and then I get my clasp. Now you can see I always keep my clasp together, and it simply just goes in, right? That's it. And I'm going to use some zap here. Okay. The charm needs love too. I know, right? And we can continue. The thing about something like this is you can continue to add, because I'm going to do some silk wrapping and stuff on here too, right? Sometimes I like to do what I call letting it simmer, which means I'm not going to force the design. I'm going to let it sit for a minute, and then I'll know what it wants. So you see I put that zap on the end. Okay. Like that. And I'm going to let it sit. And then once that one's ready, I'm going to measure it again, and then I'll glue this side into that side. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so let's take a look at this here. So what I used, I really do like the way these rings sit. I might play around with them a little bit more, maybe. I might do another wrap on top of that to make them sit here. But, you know, I can figure that out. I'm going to do some more wrapping with this Chinese knotting cord. Maybe do a little bit of decorative wrapping here. We'll have it up on the web pretty quickly because I want to get this done. But it's really just the same, folks, as the bangle. It's just, you've got more space to work with, right? And I think, yeah, I think more metal rings, maybe back here. Barbara, I agree, right? You know, it would all work. And I have just a few of the beads left. You can see, not a lot. So I can wrap even like another few right over here. Okay. The earrings that I'm wearing, yes, this is the earring kit. It's coming up in June. I'm test driving it, so it's looking good. So I will, let me put myself up on this. You will find right on the homepage, right at noon, which is just in a couple of minutes, the age check mixes are going to drop. You can jump over to the homepage. You can also find them on the new arrivals. Don't forget, we've got free shipping. You don't need to do anything about it right now. It's going on right now as a special. On orders 25 or more, you don't need a code. You just select free shipping at checkout. So I want to go so you folks can jump on to beadshopdotcom and find all of the things that you need for this piece. The braided leather, the new clasp, a lot of this stuff is all in the new arrivals page, so you'll see them. We'll also have a page and ingredients list up on this a little bit later tonight. You can make your own mixes too with a bunch of 6 and 8/aughts. Go stash diving in your stash. This braided leather is just a really great, fun base for all of this stuff. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm signing off. I will see you folks on Friday. I have another necklace that we finished that I'm going to walk you through. It's one of those say something necklaces that's going to be really great. I thank you so, so much for your support and you folks watching, because without you out there and the support of our small business, we could not be doing what we love. So thank you. And I'll see you folks on Friday. Bye, everybody.